What's going on, everybody? My name is Jeremy, or as majority of people who have been around me know me as Pastor J. Yep, I'm a pastor. I've been doing it for over 10 years now. Also been married for over 10 years. But I'm gonna just get straight to the point, because the point of this video is to kind of let you guys in on my life, let you guys kind of see a little bit of piece of me, and there's a reason for that, and I'm gonna tell you it later. First and foremost, I want to come straight out and tell you what is the main purpose of this. And the main purpose is that although I've been married for 10 years, I decided that I was going to step outside of my marriage as a pastor. And I cheated on my wife. And I'm looking dead in this camera as I say it, because I've never been one to really hide from what I've done. If I've done you wrong, I'm probably going to call you and say it to you. I'm not one to just kind of hide in the shadows and just sweep it under the rug and just say, well, you know, I messed up and you know, good thing God forgives. Yes, he does. God forgives. At the same time, I do feel like when you make a mistake or you mess up, you need to own that as well. And so with that being said, I would like to sincerely apologize to not only my wife, who I've apologized to 1,000 times, but every single person that I've hurt. There's a true saying that hurt people, and I've done that. Even the people in my ministry that I stepped down for a while, y'all. I stepped down for about half a year, just because I felt like I couldn't talk to them. I couldn't teach. I couldn't preach no more. And for every pastor that has called me and attempted to encourage me, I appreciate that. And I heard those words, God forgive, Pastor J. You just get back up, keep on. You can't just stop going. But it's not that God don't forgive and that I don't know it. It's the fact that I know that I've hurt people, and I was more upset with myself than anything. So I want to apologize to all of those that were hurt by me in any shape, way, form, or fashion. I mean that with everything in me. Now, I know people will ask, well, why would you do it? And is there a law of cause and effect? Absolutely. That's a real thing. But instead of me wasting my time talking about the cause of why I did a thing, I'd rather just put it on myself and simply say to you, my own mind wasn't ready. My own immaturity, my own inability to counter a law with a greater law. I didn't have to do it, right? No matter what was going on with me, I could have chose a different input, which would have gave me a different output, right? I could have chose a different import that would have gave me a different export. I didn't have to handle things the way that I handled them. And I will say that a weak-minded person will always tend to go the wrong route. And so I will blame myself and say that I was weak in that moment. I had a weak mindset in that moment. And that, more than anything, is what upsets me the most. I think the next question from people would be, well, do you have children? And what would you say to them? Would you like your daughter to go through that? No, I would not. No. Do I teach my daughter certain things? Absolutely, all the time. I always tell my kids that, like, be better than me, right? Dad has made some mistakes, even before now, even before this one. Be better than me. That's something I would always tell my children. Would I condone my son doing something like this? Something like that? No. No. If my son was to ever come to me and say, Dad, I'm struggling here, I would probably say to him in all honesty, son, I would rather you leave than to stay there. And I know people out there would say, well, that's a coward's way out, right? As a man, you got to stand there and you got to stay in the fight. And I would teach my son, and I do teach him this now, that everybody will have a perception and everybody will have an opinion. Everybody will. And so, son, if you stay, here's the downfall of that. You stay miserable, you stay unhappy, and eventually an unhappy person will eventually do what unhappy people do. And you're going to hurt somebody worse than what you would have if you would have just walked away. If you walk away, they're going to label you as a quitter. If you stay in something too long, they're going to call you stupid. There are women that have stayed in relationships far too long, and their family says she's just stupid, she's just dumb for staying in that relationship. And she also knows that if she walks away, they're going to say she a quitter, she failed in her marriage, she got 2 failed marriages under her belt. So you really can't win either way. So my advice is, do the one, if you're going to lose, take the option that's going to let you lose on your own. Don't take everybody down with you. If you're going to be miserable on your own. Don't take those around you with you. If you're going to go to hell, go by yourself. Don't drag everybody down with you. And that is why I would tell my son, then just leave. Because you don't want to hurt everybody else with you in your hurt. Yes, it's going to sting that person that you're walking away from, but it will hurt them more for you to leave a scar, a mark that just don't go away. So just walk away. The next reason I'm making this is for somebody out there who feels like they want to be better, they want a new job, they want to run for office, they want to start a social media, they want to start a company, but you're afraid to do it because you are worried about what people might find out about you, the things they might undig later on in life, your mess ups, your hiccups, the people that's been on drugs and maybe you're still on drugs, the people that's out there, you're drunk and maybe you're still drinking, right? Maybe those things are what's stopping you from becoming something better because you feel like nobody will ever accept you from this point on. Let me be the first person, but probably not the last, to tell you that you are going to be very hard pressed to find anybody that hasn't had a hiccup or a mess up. I don't have a problem, as I tell my children, as I teach people in ministry, I don't have a problem with you messing up. I got a problem with you messing up and not getting up. I don't have a problem with you falling down. I don't got a problem with you laying down. I got a problem with you staying down. And I had to tell myself that so many times over these last 6 months. How long you gonna lay there? How long you gonna stay there? You gotta get up at some point. And people were saying to me, when are you gonna teach again? I'm just like, never. I said that I will never teach again. Because that shame that you feel, that guilt that you feel, no one else would understand that but you and God. So I want to encourage somebody out there that's watching this, that this is me getting up. So it is possible to get up. That if God is a redeemer, sometimes you need to see somebody who's been redeemed. That if God is a savior, sometimes you need to see him save somebody. That if God is a way maker, sometimes you need to see God make a way with somebody else for you to believe it. So I've messed up as a pastor, as somebody who people look to, and I'm still getting up. So go and do what you was called to do. Don't lay there forever. People gonna hate you either way. Trust me. They're gonna hate you either way. So if you're gonna have haters either way, you might as well get up and keep pushing and make something of yourself. So at least you got something to smile about. And give the haters something else to hate, I guess. But you cannot lay there with all that skill, with all that talent, with all that gift in you, and beat yourself up so much so that you never become anything great. My next reason for making this video, and I think probably one of my most important reasons, is because I'm not good at being somebody who I never want people to follow me and not know me. Not just Jeremy as a pastor, but Jeremy as a person. I'm brutally honest when I teach, and I'm gonna be brutally honest with who I am. And I wanted you guys to have the option to say, do we even want to listen to this guy? Do we want to follow his ministry at all? I don't want you to follow me and then later on find out something and say, oh my God, he's been this way the whole time. No, I want you to know this is my mess up. And if you decide, nah, we can't rock with this guy, we can't follow this guy, we don't know, I respect that. My only request is that you respect me enough to say also, at least he was honest. He didn't have some PR rep get out here and try to cover this up. He didn't dance around the topic. He just said it. He cheated. He said it. And even if you don't listen to nothing I say, hopefully you can at least respect the person I am. Last but not least, my final reason for this video is because I've learned that there's a principle greater than condemnation. Condemnation is what other people say about you, how they condemn you for things you've done and they hold it against you as long as they wish. But what I've learned is it's easy to avoid other people's word. It hurts, but you can block them, you can never talk to them, you can move away, change your phone number, you can do all types of stuff to get away from people. But a principle that I found that's greater than condemnation is self-condemnation. You can't block you. You can't outrun you. You can't hide from you. And that's what kept me down for so long. Not the fact that other people were mad at me or couldn't forgive me. The fact that I couldn't forgive myself. That is what leads people to alcohol and drugs and suicide. The inability to forgive themselves. And so you're praying day in and day out, God forgive me, God forgive me, God forgive me. So it's always a God forgive me, God forgive me. But the one thing we don't do a good enough job of in the church is teaching you that you also got to forgive yourself. It's not the forgiveness of God that pushes away suicide or other things that come up in your life. God could forgive, but if you don't forgive you, there is no hell like sitting there and that own self-condemnation locking you into a place that you just can't seem to get out of. God forgives, but I encourage you to forgive you as well. All of that being said and done, I really would once again like to say sorry to all those that I hurt. My family, whether it be my wife, family, friends. Hurt people truly do hurt people. And I truly am sorry for it, whether you forgive or not. Thank you to those people who have supported me even through this, encouraged me, and have been a light in this dark time for me, even though I wasn't talking to y'all. You never condemned me. You never said anything bad to me. And I appreciate all of you, whether you know it or not. But today's a new day. Today we begin a new path. In other words, the Genesis to our Exodus. We begin a new journey today. And not just to get back to where we were, but to get better. And that is always my goal, to be better than I was yesterday. And I have no intention on looking back. That is what it is. But I do have intention on moving forward. If you do want to leave some questions below, do so. But I'm not going to answer anything that would tear anybody else down. It's just not my MO. I don't find it fun to drag somebody down with me. So this was on me. For those of you all who felt like you could not get up, I hope I'm a little bit of an inspiration to you. That even though I'm a pastor, I didn't hide from it. I face it, and I want to keep moving forward. And hopefully you guys are willing to join me. Whether it was on drugs or alcohol, whether it was pills, or whatever the case it may have been. Get up with me, and let's take a journey together. Hopefully we can build a place of positivity, place of encouragement, because the one thing that's hard to do in this life is find people who are like-minded and that want to stay positive with you. And hopefully we can create that atmosphere, we can create that environment, we can make this that place. Maybe I could teach you guys some of the things that's in my mind, maybe you guys can leave some things below and teach me some of the things that's on yours. But more than anything else, let's do better today. Tomorrow's never promised. Yesterday is gone, and all we got is now. I really do appreciate all of you, and I love you guys. Have a great day, and I look forward to posting more often so you guys can see my life, not just as a pastor, but as a person. Love y'all.